Hey everyone, welcome to my first creature feature. I'm going to be showcasing the Cauthooj from Pathfinder. What we know about them from the source material, they're large predatory birds that seem to prefer feasting on humanoids. They don't seem to tend to hunt in groups, as hunting parties of humanoids will actually form when one is spotted in the area, is a quote from the Monster Corps. They're known commonly as the puppet master bird or the shrill strike, as its cry can be used to cause confusion in victims, and then the Cauthooj can use that confusion to force victims to attack a specific target, which is pretty effective against groups of adventurers, which is why I picked this bird for the one shot I talked about in my last video. They've stated in Monster Corps that they enjoy creating conflict and manipulating minds, which I find really funny. They're smarter than they look, hence why they enjoy manipulating minds and creating conflict. They can actually understand enough Fae that it's listed as a language in their stat sheet, although they cannot speak any language. They can try to imitate words, but it's not very clear. They have an awkward hopping gait, but they're still quite agile. And they like to collect shiny baubles and stuff, almost like a horde of a dragon. Some stuff that I speculate because I like to flesh out some of the creatures in Monster Corps as I think about them more, as if they were real animals. I imagine they're territorial to each other, but will have intricate mating rituals like a lot of paradise birds. I imagine the male will gather shiny and colorful objects and hang them from trees, leading to a nest. I kind of thought of that like that little cuttlefish that makes patterns in the sand. I thought it would be really funny if the Cauthooj did something similar with stuff they've found. I imagine they sing to each other to establish boundaries and hierarchies when they do encounter each other. It's stated that they have a long territory that can wander many miles from their lairs in search of food. So I imagine when they do encounter each other, if they're not searching for a mate, they use their warbling song to intimidate or interact with each other. I've even thought maybe they manipulate low-level creatures or like tribes of goblins, what have you, in a way to have fun or impress each other. Imagine that once the babies are old enough to leave the nest, they will wander outside of their parents' territories until they find a settlement to hunt around. As a result, they're found all over Galarian, although as stated in the source material and Archive of Nethys, they often hunt in plains, prairies, and other large open expanses. So that is a little different from when I had them in a forest, but it's not stated that they only live in plains and prairies. It's just that that's where they often prefer. It seems like they're built very similar to, say, a roadrunner, with the two long legs. They're flightless, so having wide open ranges to run does seem to be ideal for them. Now, their stat block is very interesting. I'll switch over to it here on Archive of Nethys. This is the little excerpt that I got my information from. I actually have the physical Monster Corps in front of me as well. There's a little bit down here that I didn't see in, oh no, it's in Monster Corps, it's just on the edge. They have the little paragraphs on the side. But this is their stat block. So something interesting about them is they have thought sense, imprecise, 60 feet. So they can actually sense when intelligent creatures are near them. So it's not a precise sense. So like vision is a precise sense. You can see exactly what 5 foot square a creature occupies. Thought size is not precise. So they can just tell when something is nearby, not exactly where it is. They speak Fae, or they can understand Fae. It's stated in the text block that they can understand a few rudimentary words, but they can't speak any language. They have high athletics and stealth. Creature level 12, so they have a pretty decent AC and HP, especially if you're looking at D&D 5e. Stats really scale based on your level, so it can get to pretty ridiculous numbers if you're just used to 5e. They also have resistance 15 to sonic damage, so sonic damage is not going to affect them as much. They have their hop dodge reaction. If they're the target of a strike that is adjacent to another enemy that is also within reach of the melee strike, the Cauthooj can hop to the side and redirect the triggering strike to the adjacent enemy. So they actually have multiple ways to cause inter-party conflict and turmoil by having the party strike against each other. If we look down to their warbling song as the first step, they cry out and cause confusion to their target. So when they make this cry, every creature within the range must attempt a will save to resist it, and then these are the different effects. Critical failure is they're confused for a round and immediately attacks itself. Failure is just confused for 1 round, unaffected, or is unaffected and is temporarily immune on a critical success. But then, for creatures that failed or critically failed their save, he has his staccato strike, which he can use to subtly alterate the pitch and tone of its song, and can actually direct that creature to attack a specific ally of the creature, which can be very handy. It's a lot of fun to have this creature. It's somewhat intelligent. I like to, I know the dynamics of the team, of the party. I can use that knowledge for the bird to perceive that and enhance any resentment that may be already in the party. Obviously, you don't want any real resentment between the players, but it can be fun to roleplay sometimes if maybe the champion strikes out against the ranger in confusion, but the ranger character takes it seriously and is really upset, but it's all well and good with the players. But I do really enjoy seeing how these creatures may interact with other creatures, other civilizations, the ecosystem in Galarian, because they're animals. They're not inherently evil, they're just doing animal things, and this animal happens to like to hunt humanoids. Obviously, that's a problem for humanoid civilizations, but I think it's just interesting to think about these animals as that, versus just a monster to fight and kill. But thank you so much for listening. I will try to post more of these. If you have a specific creature that you want to hear about, let me know. I love to just flip through Monster Core, my old bestiaries, and just see what Pathfinder has to offer. It's a lot of fun. So thank you.